Leila Janah's nonprofit company, Sama Group, is trying to use the digital economy to combat poverty. It has two main programs, one called Samasource that connects people directly to jobs, and the other is called Samaschool, which is a free online training program to teach low-income people how to search for jobs online. Mark News sat down with her to discuss her business strategy and also began by asking her how much money people can hope to earn using Samasource.
So on average, our workers at Samasource they're all from very low income backgrounds in developing countries, mostly in East Africa and South Asia. They move on average from about $2 a day in income to $8 a day or more in income through this model. And just to put that in context, $8 a day in the places where we work would be considered middle income for an individual. So what that means is we have workers who are moving out of slums, who are able to, for the first time, afford proper health care and education for their families, who are able to go back to school themselves and pass that income onto their families. We've moved 7,000 workers and their families for a combined total of about 30,000 people from that average income of $2 a day to $8 a day with Samasource. And Samaschool, our online training model, has trained about 1,500 people here in the US, and we've just enrolled close to 2,500 people globally in our free online course. That program enables workers to make, on average, 27% more in income as a result of going through our boot camp. It's about an 80-hour curriculum. And so here in the US, our poverty line is $11,000 a year for a single person and about $23,000 a year for a family of 4. So that's a pretty substantial income increase. And they earn that money by doing things on sites like TaskRabbit and Thumbtack, where contractors can earn money doing tasks like dog walking or household chores. And people globally in places like China or Asia could earn money through one of our partners, Upwork.com, where we teach people how to be data entry clerks or manage social media or perform other tasks remotely for companies through the internet.
You also just introduced Lakshmi, a skincare company. Now, at first glance, many people might think, what can a skincare company do that's socially conscious? But you plan to take it to another level.
We started thinking a couple of years ago, what if we applied this model of impact sourcing to a more profitable category? Maybe we could start a sister company, another business, that might be able to fund our nonprofit work one day. And that's where Lakshmi comes in. So we discovered that there is an amazing set of raw ingredients in northern Uganda, and we discovered that women in this community were harvesting for their own use and for local markets a really amazing natural product that comes from a plant. It's a nut, and you can extract a butter and an oil from this nut that's incredibly good for your skin. It's produced organically. It's produced, in our case, paying women 3 times what they would make doing anything else, so they make a living wage doing this work. And I thought if we could bring more attention to this, if we could purchase this raw ingredient, package it, and sell it in a luxury market to consumers who care about their skin, we could do both the impact sourcing and the giving work that we do at Sama, and we could also make enough of a profit to generate income that can sustain our nonprofit works.
Silicon Valley's obviously changed the world in many ways. Many also believe it lacks a certain moral compass, that it's disrupting markets for the sake of disrupting markets, but not thinking and being socially conscious. How would you grade the next generation of tech companies?
I'm an optimist, and I have known a lot of these founders personally before they started their companies or before their companies were big. And I do think that there is a very different brand of philanthropy present in the Bay Area that's less about these grand gestures or naming a wing of your alma mater after you, or giving $1 million in front of everyone at a big gala, and that's more about results and impact. And I'm personally really heartened by many stories of people who, I know one of the early Facebook founders, one of the Facebook founders and several people who were early at Facebook are big donors to an organization that I really believe in that does what we call direct cash transfers to the extreme poor. And they've been pretty quiet about it. They don't like talking about it much in the press. And seeing that, compared to what I'm used to seeing in traditional East Coast philanthropy is really remarkable. That someone who's in their early 30s or late 20s and has come into billions of dollars would think to make this kind of a contribution so early in his or her life. versus the traditional example where capitalists make money until they're in their, in their old age, and then they think about setting up a foundation to give it away in future generations. So I would actually give Silicon Valley an A in terms of philanthropy and being engaged in philanthropy and wanting to give away money. I think the challenge in Silicon Valley and more broadly within American business is that we relegate those social good activities to philanthropy. I think the real change is going to happen when we start embedding those social good activities into the companies we're creating at the outset, rather than waiting until we make a lot of money to give it away at the end of that value chain.
For more on our interview with Leila, head over to our website. There you can see her answer when we asked her how much progress has been made in Silicon Valley's attempt to recruit more women. It's on our Women at Work section of cctv-america.com.